Welcome to Tibalt's Apprentice. We are slowly bringing this thing together. What is this thing? It is the Beginner Color Challenge. And what's going on here? I am playing through the beginner portion of the game as an experienced player. Experienced player doesn't mean a good player. It just means that I'm old and angry. So, that may give you some insights into the game. Going to play at least 5 games, at least 5. The first 4 will be preset games against something of a bot. And then the 5th game is anything goes. If you have watched the previous videos, there is one for white, there is one for blue. This will be the green one. You'll know that by the end of the green one, or rather the blue one, I melted down, and I apologize for that. But interesting insights came from it. So that's what's going to happen here. Number 3 we have to talk about is we will talk about any number of topics along the way. This is for a beginner, and this is through the eyes of a more experienced player. And I will try to go over some of the descriptions and definitions as I play the game. This is designed for you to watch in order, starting with the white one first. The best way to do it, I would say, is watch this first and then go and try to play those games, with the exception of number 5 because all bets are off. So we'll see what we learn there. Enough about that. Let's just get into the gameplay here. So we're doing the color challenge. We're now going, black is next. I said I was going to do green next. I'm dumb for not looking that up first. I did say green, so let's go do the green one. Hope that doesn't matter. We'll see. Large and in charge. Reading the cards and reading explains what's going to happen here. So you're going to play against a player using a green deck. Win or lose, you complete this color challenge and no one knows who it will be. Well, it will be us winning for sure, because that's what I'm here to help you with. But that's for number 5. We're going to start with number 1 first and just jump right into it. It's kind of telling you what the color pie is. The color all specialize in different strengths and weaknesses. White is definitely the color of small creatures and healing. Not a lot of card draw. You'll notice here that I have a thing on my screen which tells me which cards are in this deck. I only have that showing up because of the special features that I have. I use Untap GG as one set of information. Then I have something else from EtherHub, and I'll try to remember to include those in the description. And so one of the things that green does is produces lots of mana. They have what are called mana dorks. I'm not going to block this. I think by now we know how blocking and attacking somewhat works. So I will take that. I am trying to, with green, I'm trying to ramp. What is ramp? I am trying to get more mana value on the board before the opponent does. At this point, 3 mana, 3rd turn, I can put what would be normally take me 4 turns to get on the board already. Or I could push it further by putting more mana on the board. Right now, I'm going to play this the way I'm sure they intended you to play it, by putting this on the board. Reading the card explains the card. I threw that on without reading it, so if I get bit in the butt with it later on, that'll be my fault. What does it do? When it enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 each other. So, wouldn't have mattered. Will matter this time. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this. Green is famous for building up its own creatures. I can now tap this because I have a creature that has more than a 4 toughness. I can now tap this for 2 mana. I can get this on the board also. They have blockers. I'm okay with that. I'm going to swing in and potentially lose that creature. They block with everything. Something else you can do now, obviously good that you can see this, you can order the way the blocks are going to be dealt damage. That was tough. So I want to get the most useful things out of the way first. I think I will kill all of them because I will inflict 5 points of damage. Just in case I couldn't or something else, though, I would put this first because I don't want them gaining life later. And I'm going to have enough to destroy everything else. So, doesn't matter this time, but it might matter future events. A lot of the things I'm telling you about, I want you to get used to the idea of hearing them and recognize them later on. I guess that's the most important thing. Now, I shorted myself that extra mana because I got rid of that 4/4, or actually it was a 5/5 creature. But I'm okay with that because I have everything that I need to put this on the board. I am going to go ahead and swing. They may have a combat trick. I am playing loose and fast. The other games I played a little bit more conservatively. The fact that this has trample means that any extra damage is going to be assigned to the creature. Since I said they might have a combat trick, they might have something that adds to the power and toughness. Anytime you see mana unspent on the other player's turn, means that they could have an instant ability or something that will be able to be played on their turn or the midst of your turn. Cards that have flash also will let you do that. I'm going to go ahead and push it, though. Feeling brave and bold here. I'm going to go ahead and attack with one creature. Yes. I'm going to get this out of the way right now because this is not important. I don't need that. Close that. Close this. Can I get it? These things overlay each other. So let's do that. All right. I am just going to swing in. I talked about this in other games before this, but I'm going to repeat a lot of things, or a few things anyhow. Do not overcommit. I could swing in with both of these creatures. I could actually swing in with all 4 of them at the risk of losing one. But since this is a learning experience, I'm not going to overcommit. I'm just going to swing with that 7/7. Oh, make that 13. Nice. Again, what did I say earlier? Reading the card explains the card. Had I taken a second to look at this, I would have realized that whenever he attacks, I gain an attack 1/1. One power, 1 toughness, because of the lands that I have. So I obviously want to put another land on play. I'm going to go ahead and tap this and play this, bumping this up, because again, I'm going to have an advantage. I have trample, 9 points. Suddenly this will become, 14 this time? I will go ahead and swing in with this, because even if he blocks either one that he blocks, the other one's going to get through and is going to do damage. He, of course, will block the 14/14. I still got 5 points of damage. Oh, it had trample, so it didn't matter. Never mind. I would have gotten 5 points if he had been able to stop it. Again, trample damage carries over. So that was an easy victory. You should have no problem, I would think, getting through that. On to the next one. We're going to slowly make changes to that deck that we had, or rather it's going to make changes to it for us. By the time we get to that 5th one, though, we will be playing with our hands tied behind our back. I'll talk more about that later. Red, again, is aggressive and is going to come in fast. Interesting to see what they're going to do here, though. I'm going to put a 1/1 on the board. Will they push their advantage in attack, or will they remove that creature? I don't know. I'm prepared for either one. They are going to add another creature and build up their board state. Oh, and they're going to kill the creature too. Well, there wasn't a whole lot that we could do about that. As a matter of fact, I don't see the best way to play around this yet, except make them spend these instant direct spell damage as soon as I can. That damage could have gone to us. You'll notice here that it says any target, 2 damage to any target. That includes us. Some things will say they can only hit creatures. Some things will say that they can only hit planeswalkers, other things. Be aware of that. Reading the card explains the card. Let's get this on the board. Talked before about the fact you can play land during your first phase, your first main phase. You can't play it during combat, but you have a second main phase that's after your combat phase where you could play it. They are going to be playing non-creature spells and building that up. I have two choices here. I am going to go with the smaller one now because I have a combat trick. So I will go ahead and put this on the board. Nothing can happen there, but you'll notice how this is still lit up. I can play that anytime I need to. If they're about to destroy that, I might be able to buff that up and keep it from dying. They held back a turn. Okay, that's always suspicious, but whatever, it's all good. So, think about this. You can always play your cards later. You don't have to play them right now. I don't have to automatically go to my turn, play a creature. Sometimes it's advantageous to wait. I'm going to do just that by choosing to attack first, see how they respond to my attack. They're blocking with enough creatures that will kill my creature. They've now committed to that. We go to the next part of the turn, which will allow me to untap this and put a +1 on it. Now, it will survive their block, and I will still get 1 point of damage. I will go to the next part of the step. They had a chance to do something, they didn't have a response. Fair enough. Now, because I have a +4 for power for a toughness creature, even though it's taking damage, I can get extra mana out of this one. So you'll see why it's important to maybe wait a little bit to play your spells. Don't commit to them immediately. It's easy to do that because for speed of the game, you just want to get through stuff. So, what do I do here? This is at the beginning of my upkeep. I could get more cards. This, as we already saw, Stony Strength is a combat trick. And I could play another creature, but it would take tapping most of what I have here. So, again, not going to commit just yet. I'm going to commit to an attack. As a matter of fact, I will swing with both of these to put the pressure on them. When you have the advantage, press the advantage. They're going to take all that damage. It's a little bit worrisome to me. It implies that they have something that they need that mana for later. My choice then becomes, do I choose a defensive play of drawing more cards? Or do I choose an aggressive play or putting a creature on board? Normally, I would put a creature on board. I'm going to go against my general choice, usual choice, put this on the board, leaving mana available to play a combat trick if I need to. End turn. Wow. Flying and haste. Well, luckily, this had vigilance, which means that it doesn't tap out to attack. They did tap out to put that creature in play. Now, if they swing at me with it, see, they knew I would have blocked it and done that, but they didn't. So, I will now get my advantage of having an extra card draw. Oh, nice. Let's get this on the board. And again, don't overcommit if you can help it. They are tapped out, so I don't fear too much. They could block with both creatures, leaving me a large advantage. So let me show you what I'm thinking here. Let me show you what I'm thinking while I'm doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and attack. We'll see if they take the bait and choose to block it. They do. So let's do this. I felt safe doing this because their mana was tapped out. And I knew that they had no combat tricks coming. Press my incremental advantage of card draw. Getting another card. Playing this. And we know this is going to end the game unless they do something very sneaky. I will again press the advantage. Now they do a chump block, but the chump block doesn't matter because trample carries over. Oh, yeah. I knew they had some instants in their hand. And it's far too late. I have now won the game. I'm going to go ahead and attack with everything. Just to see how far I can put them in the hole. Easy games. These are against bots. We'll see what that fifth game comes to. All right, we're up against a blue player. Blue players are crafty, tricky, have lots of combat tricks up their sleeve. Lots of sorceries and instants will be cast by them, potentially. At least that's the color of blue. Let's go ahead and play it out. We seem to be, well, I'll say on curve for the first 2 turns. Counter spells are something that we need to worry about. Spells that stop us from doing what we need to do. But they probably haven't introduced those just yet. All right. They are tapped out. That is very important, especially against blue players. I would require 2 cards to their 1 card, so I will not use it. This creature doesn't have any special abilities or so on, so I will let this stand. I will not attack with it and hold back. I am definitely an aggro player. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. Interesting. So let's take advantage of this. I'm going to activate this ability. It does not have a tap symbol next to it. If there is just a colon, that can be done anytime. Let's do this. And to me, it would be worth it to go ahead and attack into them. Even though I will waste multiple cards, their fact that they can cast spells with flying for 1 less is worth it for me to stop them if I can from gaining that advantage. Maybe I won't have to play these cards. Best to make the attack, see what happens. And I only need to spend 1 of these. And that will be enough to kill it. And I will let the turn pass. Nothing else bad happens, I will build this up. So they're building up a flyer board presence. Evasion is something that I talked about in previous episodes. Evasion is very, very powerful. Do not underestimate. I'm going to continue. I'm putting this on the board so I can get more mana. I will bait out any kind of a counter spell they might have. I'm looking to get this big bad boy on thing. Go ahead and attack. Not going to block it. All right. Again, notice how this worked out. This is now a +4. I can activate that ability now because this is going to give me 2 mana. I'm not going to do that yet, though. I'm not going to commit. Maybe I'll need that mana for something else. Ooh, that's not good. But I don't expect anything else to be coming down the pipe, so I will go ahead and buff that creature up again. Again, you'll take some damage. You have to. And I'm okay with that. 5, yeah. So I will continue to press the attack. So glad there's no counter spells. All right. 2 of these. Now it gets a little bit more Interesting. 8 mana. So they always say math is for blockers. That's usually how it goes. All right. I think I can kill them next turn. 7 plus 5. Another 2 damage. I think I can wipe them out unless they have something up their sleeve. Oh, interesting. So, let's remove their blocker. Here's a creature I control. There's a creature they control. They now have no way of blocking. They may still have combat tricks up their sleeve, though. So I'm not going to overcommit. Actually, you know what? I am going to overcommit because they have enough to kill me next turn no matter what. So I have to finish them this turn. So with that in mind, I am swinging in with everything. Let's see what they didn't choose to block anything. Boom. Easy. 1, 2, 3. On to the next one. All right. Death Touch. Any amount of damage done by a source with Death Touch was enough to kill a creature. Okay, we've talked about Death Touch before in previous videos. We'll see how this goes. You've seen me make this same opening play about 3 times now. So Death Touch is not something that you want to encounter on their terms. You'll try to encounter it on your terms. Interesting. So, a foolish thing to do let's go ahead and do this. Would have been attack into that. Interesting. So, let's do this. I believe... No. Well, see, I almost did it myself. Reading the card explains the card. I was going to attack and kill this creature to get rid of it, so the Death Touch would be off the board. If I did that, though, the 1 point that they did to me would be enough to kill my creature. I don't like the fact that this creature is going to get built up. This creature next to them. Except, what happened here? What does this say? Read the card explains the card. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, rather. Okay, this is fine. The sorcery, which means it can be done only on my turn. I'm going to do that. Say no attacks. Patience. I hate patience. I don't have patience. I explained in the other. Oh, see, I probably should have kept that now. So I could have taken this out. But, whatever. It's all good, right? Do this. All right. They're not attacking into us, so I don't really have anything to fear, per se. This is going to become a problem. Yeah. So I should have saved those rabid bites to deal with these creatures. Good example of you shouldn't commit too soon. I am going to go ahead and attack. Now, the smart thing that they'll do is they'll block with the Death Toucher and kill my creature. Each of theirs will gain some life. I at least got to carry over the rest of my damage, but then I'll have 6 flying that I can't do anything about, followed up by another Death Toucher. What does this do? When it enters the battlefield, you may have it fight a creature you don't control. Well, They're making me think a little bit here. So, the question becomes, do I kill this one, which will grow larger? It will be replaced by a 4/4 here. Does it matter? Do I care? I don't think so. I'm noticing the cards in hand, and I think having a larger board presence with them may make a difference in the end. No, that didn't go larger. This has to have my creature die. So, no attack. No attack. Suddenly these 1/1s become more important. They're going to hit me for 4, and I'm going to hit them for quite a bit more. I hope they don't throw down a Death Toucher. Oh, murder! Interesting choice to do that then. But this is a very interesting card to play. Let's put this down. Let's put this down. Build that board presence. Take advantage of the fact that I can get in for 3. They're not going to hit me for, potentially, they only hit me with 4. They didn't commit to the attack. All right. Every time they do damage to me, they're going to increase. Well, I will put this down now. And you know what? I'm going to die next turn. Yep. How about that? I'm going to die because I can't block. I don't have anything that has reach. So lesson learned. You're going to want to hold back Rabid Bite until later on. Doesn't matter. Let's do this, this, and this. Yeah. 10. I could come up just short. I'm going to come up short by 1 point. Oh, or not. Well, duh. Of course they're going to block the biggest one. And then they swing in for 5 and kill me. So lesson learned. Experienced players alike. You don't know what's coming, so you got to be prepared for anything. You need to think strategically as possible. All right. I know what's coming. This I already warned you about early on. So let's do that again. All right. Save that for the Flyers. Again, you're not dead until you lose your very last life. So we're going to rush to build up our board presence. And then we're going to pick off their creatures more strategically this time. At least that's the plan. All right. So these are things as you start to design your own decks, you're going to be concerned with. That is planning out what fits into what slot, what becomes important and what isn't. Sorcery, right? I can only cast sorceries on my own turn. I will not attack. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. That might not have even been the smartest play. All right. Yeah, this is fine. All right. Hold back, hold back, hold back. until you can overrun. I'm sure they're not going to show you overrun in this deck, but overrun is a very powerful card that green would use. Let's do this. We're going to hold back when they murder that right away. That's okay. They still want to commit with those. All right, what do we have here? All creatures. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely want that for later. Do I care? No, I don't. Combat tricks. Tricks can be built into your deck that will make a difference. Let me see here. So everything's going to have to block there. Sorcery. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack with everything. The things that are most irritating to me are the rats, that death touch. I want to get that death touch out of here. So I'm gonna only be able to assign 2 points of damage. So those 2 are going to go to this. All right. Now that that's out of the way, I'm going to put this on the board, and then I'm going to eat this flyer. There we go. So a little bit better example of how that should be played out. Now I can handily dismiss this and then swing in with my larger creatures. Ooh, I like that. I like that they're not just giving it to you. I still got them on the ropes. Matter of fact, I can take that damage. Let's put this down. Let's go ahead and attack. Now, I shouldn't be greedy. Should attack with just enough in case they have another murder. But they didn't. All right. All bets are off on this next one. Talked about this during the blue, and that is I'm going to be up against anything, and I am absolutely handicapped because I'm stuck playing something that they chose for me to play. There is a wide disparity between the decks that a person can build and the deck that you are forced to being played during this color challenge. You are stuck with a mono color deck against a 2-3 color deck, even a 5 color deck. So this I'm not necessarily going to be able to give you any pointers on. So we're going to play through it anyhow, just to see. So we're going to look and we're going to see if we're on curve. And we are on curve. We have between 2-3 mana to start with. We have a first turn play, a second turn play, a third turn play, and provided we draw another mana, we've got a fourth turn play. So that is playing on curve. We're up against blue. That is never a good sign. All right. This is a vanilla creature. It's termed a vanilla creature because it is just a 2/2 for a 2. It doesn't have any special abilities or anything. But we want to build up our board presence. We want to get mana on the board. We want to play mana every turn. So far, I've been playing my land first main phase every time. You don't have to do that, though. I could attack. I'm going to attack. I have no idea what I'm up against, so I want to get through this game as fast as I can so that if I don't win it, we can move on to the next game. Mental state is a very important thing when you play these games. Don't play when you're already angry. Probably shouldn't put my hand directly in front of the mic while I'm talking. Yeah, this is something to keep in mind. I don't know. Let's do this. I am going to go ahead and attack to see if they're going to give up that creature. I doubt that they will. They have a creature that has an ability. I mentioned before mine is a vanilla creature. Theirs actually is not because it has something else. They're probably not going to want to give that up. They're suspicious of the lands that I have open. At least that's what I think is happening. I'm going to play this so that I get more mana faster as opposed to this, because I don't have any 4 creatures on the board. I have no way of getting them. Better that I get the mana if I get ramp. Have I mentioned ramp already? I've said that's what green is good for. Ramp is getting more mana than your opponent onto the field, so you have more options than they do. At least that's the plan. Since I know that I'm limited to the deck that they've given me, I didn't see a lot of reach creatures. I do know that I will have the potential to pull the Rabid Bites. That's my only hope to deal with that evasion ability that they have. So I'm going to, well, I'm going to commit to putting big creatures on the board fast. Let's see if they have a counterspell. Notice they're setting their thinking. Do they want that creature on the board? Doesn't matter to them. Okay. Not going to attack. Wait till you have the advantage. You might be watching this on Twitch. So, I do have a card that will let me untap potentially. That Stony Strength or whatever will untap a creature, so that's a possibility I can get past. Can possibly make a difference. So let's do this. We'll do this. They're just going to slowly pick away at me. And sometimes, so here's something that's very important. You're not going to win every game. Best of players, worst of, it doesn't matter. There is a lot of variance in this. The deck that you play can influence it, but nothing is 100% guaranteed. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. But I can start building this creature up. I'm going to have to draw into some of my removal. The fact that that's tapped, just not going to see what I need fast enough here. This. Okay, I at least can get some attacks in. Yeah. So we'll go on to the next step. Go ahead, attack. I don't mind trading one of their creatures because I don't like the idea of taking 6. I have to draw something, or they have to give me a creature. They're not going to. Going to put me at 4 next turn. Sounds silly, but do the math while you're playing the game. The best way to play Magic is with another person. I've said that a few times now. But if you do play and you're beginning out playing this, take notes. Be aware of these things. Get them to be second nature. Actually, I was thinking this was a flying creature that's going to have to worry about it. So maybe they're only going to hit me with the 4 that's in the air, putting me at 6 regardless. It's not a position I want to be in. I'm going to have to draw some kind of removal next turn. Let's go ahead and do this now, just so I don't forget. Yeah, I've got to have some way of dealing with that. They're going to scry. They're going to look at a couple of cards, giving them the advantage. This at least is not an outrageously separate game here, a different game. Let's see. So I can have this fight something. Yes, they're all tapped out, which is good. It also then lets me possibly get some card advantage. So wow, came right down to the wire here. Let's get rid of this one. Resolve. Take the action. All right. Let's go ahead and cast this because we really need that card draw. I can't afford to lose anything right now, so no attacks. They have a handful of cards, therefore they have a handful of options. They have mana available. They're not going to overcommit. Down to 4. I need something good. So, 2 chances to draw into something. That was not it. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and attack. Going to attack here. Going to attack here. They don't need to block. They can take the damage. Again, until they get down to 1, they're not out of the game. So, why not take it? What I should have done when I realized they weren't blocking is I should have put a +1 on there. I could have got 1 more point of damage in on them. I will do that now, which was I'm not going to say a misplay, but yeah, it was a misplay. Playing perfectly, I should have gotten them down to 5 life that turn. Oh, that's just mean. We've already seen unsummon when we played the blue ourselves. Depending how many unsummons they have, another thing would be to put that 4/4 back in my hand and deny me my card draw. Interesting. They went for that one. Well, it's because they want to be able to attack and have me block with... Ooh. Yeah, they want me to block with. Or we may return creature. Yeah, ouch. All right, so this wasn't a bad game. This felt fair. I do know what I had in my deck, so I did have a chance of drawing something that could deal with them. I now will have to save myself, block with everything. And I don't have any sweepers and stuff. So I'm glad this was a monocolor against a monocolor. So this is, like I said, it's a good example of what... I can't do anything with that, so don't spend it. Wow, a little too late. Let's throw down a land card. Oh, I get to fight. So let's do this. I will fight. Target creature you don't control. And we're going to buff it up. Target creature you control. Yeah. And now have it fight. All right. If I had a blocker, yes, good game. I will give you good game, opponent. Yeah. This is unlike the number 5 game that I had in blue. I keep referring to that. It's probably not my best moment. Probably one of my worst meltdowns. But anyhow, I can block 1, but I will take 2. So I'm just not even going to block. All right. So a lot of things. So here's something else too. So we're playing 1-on-1. We're playing 1v1. It is possible to play the best 2 out of 3. So if you are playing a best 2 out of 3 scenario, don't show your opponent what cards you have in your deck. If it looks like you're going to lose, Don't play anything last ditch just to get out of your hand to show off what you could have done. Don't give away any kind of information. I think that's important to realize and to factor in. Yeah. So, what am I doing here? I am trying to help new players fall in love with a wonderful game, barring all the outside influences that go on with this game or things that could sour or taint your view. I want you to fall in love with the game, and I want you to play on paper. Arena, while it gives you a taste of the game, a little smidge, it is not the best part of the experience of playing Magic. Unfortunately, Arena, you only win or lose. You don't get the camaraderie of playing. You don't get the joy of seeing new cards necessarily that you get when you sat down to a table at your local game store. Up against red, this is going to be a bit of a problem per se. Yeah, because they're going for direct damage. It's going to be a beautiful example of aggro, though, which is normally what I play. A little bit more like that. Don't like that, but can't do anything about it. Got to make the best plays that we can based on what we have here. I can put this down. It will get destroyed. I won't get the extra mana. I can put this down. It may get destroyed, but I actually want to be able to play a mid-range game. Aggro decks want to win within the first 5 turns. A mid-range game wants you to win between, say, 4 to 7, 10 maybe. The fact that this gives bonuses to other things, I actually will take the loss of a creature. Yeah. So, I will put this on board now. Notice how they are out of their hand. What you hope... What the heck was that? What you hope will happen is that they will run out of gas. They won't be able to play their cards. They won't be able to draw something. They'll be top decking. They won't be getting cards every turn. Yeah. Forcing a new player to play against anything, that's pretty brutal. And I'm here to remind you that don't give up. Don't let this be your only experience playing Magic. Know that there are other forms of Magic. This is helpful. See, like every time I sit down to do this, I want to be positive. I want to be constructive and helpful with the games and how they're played and everything else. But there is just so much that that Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro has done to make this game not fun. They've tried to turn it into something else there. In an effort of chasing profits, they've done a lot of things that turn this to be like Hearthstone or some other digital games, and it's too bad. I don't want to dwell on those. Those things are heartbreaking for me to see, which maybe sounds like an over-exaggeration, but I have played this game for over, well, it's coming on 30 years now. I got into this game. Anyhow, whatever, doesn't matter. Back to what's happening right here. Just to show you what's happening, I'm going to choose blockers. I will choose to block here. I will choose to block here. That's my choice. I have another. Oh, no, I don't. Never mind. I chose to block. It got attached. I didn't read the card. That card says sorcery. I was thinking of the instant. I was thinking I was going to get a chance to use it. I'm obviously distracted and can't carry on more than one conversation at a time. That's why I'm glad nobody's talking to me in the chat. This really is a wonderful game, and I think you should play it. Me personally, I want to be the guy that you come into your local game store and you see and you say, hey, I've played that guy before. I want to have fun. I'm going to sit down with him. So I work hard to be that type of player. That's not how I've always played the game. I'm not sure if I've gotten older or mellower or older and angrier or what it is. But anyhow, thanks for watching, as a matter of fact. Just getting into that. Thanks for watching and taking the time to do this. Understand this is not the 100% only way to play Magic. For people that are coming from other games like Hearthstone, hey, maybe this feels great to you and maybe it's exactly what you want. Hopefully that is. We could always use more players. Number 7, I do not have a first turn play, but I do like having that prized unicorn in my hand. Up against a red deck again. You'll notice how absolutely aggro red is. It's the way it's made to be played. People will get away with having less land cards in their deck if they're playing red, because red is aggressive and they want to win within the first 5 turns. There's a very good chance that they're going to do this again. This is an example, too, of, again, having a monocolored deck, being forced to play against a tuned or optimized deck that somebody else has constructed. And I think it's a good example of how somebody could become frustrated with this game. So I'm actually glad this is happening at this point. I do have a green deck that absolutely could compete with this red deck. It could be just as fast, if not faster, than their deck because, again, green ramps. But I'm sticking with the color challenge. This person is smart. They're not overcommitting. Yep. No blocks. All right. Rabid Bite. Deals, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to a creature you don't control. This is different than fighting. I maybe should have pointed this out earlier. I am going to inflict my damage to a creature, but I'm not necessarily going to take it. So let's get this out of the way. Oh, that's should have been done first. Why did that not? Because it's a sorcery, and I'm stupid. All right. Yeah, I obviously shouldn't play while I'm distracted, right? All right. That didn't work out quite the way I hoped it would. But whatevs. Yeah. All right. So I didn't expect to win this, which is no excuse for bad play, by the way. But yeah, a deck like this against a curated deck, you really do have to get lucky. So with that said, I'm actually going to quit this one. Yeah. So this gets to the point now, is this actually helpful to see? Is it helpful to watch me lose these games? I think it is. I think it could be. Because if you see an experienced player being frustrated, maybe you'll realize as a new player, until you've learned some of these things, it's going to go like this. or it has the potential to go like this. Maybe I should end or cap this off with an actual curated deck of mine and show you how that plays. However, with my luck, maybe I would just go ahead and lose, and that would be bad. Since I am streaming this at the same time, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Since you're not catching this on stream, you are going to notice that this has been edited and optimized a little bit, hopefully for your entertainment purposes only. I do not have a first turn play, but I will keep what I have here. I have a second turn play followed by a third turn play, so I am. So we're up against up against blue-black, a very strong combination, and so again, having multicolors, you'll add a second color into your deck to give you a better advantage to help shore up some of your weaknesses. Interesting. They're going to get a peek at my cards and going to see what to throw away. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and swing in for the attack. So there's a lot of bots out there promoting themselves on people's channels, I see. We're not even going to acknowledge that. Oh, 3-color deck. All right. Yeah. And it's a alchemy card there, so yeah, this is probably the best. And whenever you discard one or more card, seek a card that shares a type with it. It's really true once each turn, so let's resolve that. Yeah, so this is going to be the best part of your education here. That is, when you sit down to do this, you're going to see how frustrating this game can be. And if you can deal with that frustration, if you can play through it, this is the game for you. Do not spend money on this game. Do not spend money on this game in paper or in digital until you know you're 100% satisfied with it and you're ready for it. It can become an addiction. It's often referred to as Magic the Addiction as opposed to Magic the Gathering. Kind of late in the video to be telling you that, I guess. But hopefully you've just begun. Hopefully you haven't sunk anything into this. This game should be able to be played free to play. Up until recently, it definitely was that. Each iteration that goes by, Planeswalkers. We haven't talked about those yet. Each iteration and each improvement that they make drives it further towards a pay-to-play type thing. Planeswalkers are designed to intend to portray another player entering the game, somebody else that is helping you. What does this do? When it enters the battlefield, I get to draw a card. I am going to go ahead and attack that. Make sure this is an instant to cast. Yes. Make sure and attack that Planeswalker. I am not a fan of Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers were introduced partway into the game, and so there's a whole swath of cards that don't interact with them. So that's that. We won't go into much more about Planeswalkers than that. We'll leave it at that. So the way they work, though, is they come in with a certain amount of loyalty counters. You'll see there on the bottom, that comes in with 3 loyalty counters. You can do different things that will either add or subtract loyalty counters. Generally, you want them to build up to what their ultimate is. Their ultimate is usually at the bottom of the card and has some game warping effect. That's what I'm going to say about them for now until they goad me into goad. Goad is another mechanic in the game, actually. Um, yeah, until they goad me into saying something else that I'm going to regret. All right. Anyhow. All right. They have something up their sleeve because is this actually a 5-color? No, it's 3-color at this point. So I'm at a decision point here where do I just quit this game because I know I'm going to lose? I'm not going to have the meltdown that I had last time when I played blue, but I am going to quit. Because this is not a good example of a game that you can win when you are forced to play their deck. So it's a rough thing about the challenges. You may have a problem every time you get to that 5th one, and it's because you are playing against very high-level curated decks. I don't. Maybe I should. I don't know. I could switch over and actually show you what a green deck can do, but that's not what you're here for. This is supposed to be for beginners, and so I'm just going to have to slug along until I do it. If you were in the chat here, you could let me know what you wanted to see. I do think it's important to see the fun that could be had with this game. Again, the best thing that was playing with other players, going down to the local game store. I told you not to spend any money on this before. If you were to get a pre-constructed commander deck, going to your local store, I think you would have fun with that. Regardless of what your playing level is. I do think that's a possibility. Up against white, blue. Ooh. I'm just making content and I'm getting frustrated with not being able to show you what I want to show you. So I can't imagine being a beginner and playing this game and having to deal with, and I'm not sure how they would govern it. I don't profess to know how the programming on the back end of this goes, but there should be some way of keeping the ranks a little bit closer. I'm not saying they should take it easy on you. I do think that you should have to play hard to get victories in this because that's the way it goes. But to tie your hands behind your back before you even get out of the challenge stages is, like I said, it's your best education on the frustration that comes with this. Now, did you notice what was going on there? I'm not taking time to discuss things because I am playing an actual person, but since this is a learning experience, I'm going to slow this down. This card had first strike. This card has double strike. First strike and double strike damage is going to be applied before the damage that is done by the regular, which means, say this attacks and I block it with 2 creatures. 2 creatures should be able to kill this because it only has 2 toughness. But because it has first strike, it will apply its first strike damage first, and these creatures will never go to a regular combat stage. It is signified by this being split into 2 halves here. So I'm going to say no attacks. You'll notice when they attack, half of this will light up, then the other half will light up. Yep. So, anybody that's playing through this and has had an easy time going through the color challenge up to the point and suddenly gets to this point and decides, like, wow, why am I not doing it? Don't feel bad. You are put in a very much an untenable position there. It's like the Kobayashi Maru. You are not necessarily supposed to win the first time here. See how this is split into two different things right here in this corner? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's apply the first and the double damage first, and then the rest of the damage, how that lit up there on the back half. All right, moving on to yet another game. All right. There's a reason why all of these are an hour-long videos, and it usually comes down to playing this last game, this number 5. You have to get lucky, or your opponent has to get unlucky. They could get mana screwed. They could have problems drawing lands, but you are at a severe disadvantage anytime you are playing a pre-constructed deck against a curated deck. There are ways of limiting those factors by playing only in standard. You'll know the pool of cards you're drawing from if you only play standard. It's the last few current sets. So playing a standard game will limit that. If you are playing anything else, if you are playing historic or you're playing some of the other ones, that pool of cards grows exponentially. And so no telling what you might be up against. So be aware. Arguably, they had a slow start on this one. I might have a chance, but they have artifacts here. Artifacts can be creatures. Generally, there's something that's inanimate that can come to life to do something else. Let's get an extra card. And let's get as big a board presence as we possibly can to allow us options on what to do. They're tapping that to draw an extra card. Again, reading the card explains the card. You'll see that has some extra abilities. Now they are playing blue. I want to see what kind of removal they have. So I will try to put this on the board, see what they do. Surely they're going to have some type of removal. If they don't, I'm going to go ahead and swing in. Get the damage while I can. Now they might be playing a creatureless deck. That's another choice that you... It's another choice that they might make. Playing decks that don't. So that limits your interactions. Oh, are you? Oh, man. Okay. This is the same thing that happened at the end of the blue tutorial here on how to play. This card is so ridiculous and so overpowered and so stupid. I can't do it here. I'm not going to do it here. I'm quitting. I'm quitting that game. That card randomly produces cards that in real life, I did this last time, cardboard, ink, paper, cardboard that sells for thousands of dollars because of the game bending effects that they have. And they expect a new player, a brand new player, to be able to compete with that. Truly amazing. I try so hard to be positive in these videos. But the disconnect between the people running the company and the people playing the game is so far apart. It's unbelievable. I may list other videos for you to go to see what I had to say about those things. But we're going to move on here. And we're going to try to get a win here so you can see that it can be done. You see me biting a hole in my lip. I understand they run a business as not their job to be concerned with every single little player out there. But I can't, in good conscience, recommend that people spend their money on this game because of things like this. The frustration that can be involved in playing, the overwhelming sense of futility that can be gained while playing this game. I understand it's a business. They're there to make money. But it seems like somebody along the way, the game designers, the people that have been there from the beginning or nearly the beginning, the people that have spent 30 years, dedicated their life to the game. I mean, they want to have a job, right? We get down to it. They're not going to say anything against the suits because they want to keep their job. I get that. Let's see what they have. They're going to have more counter spells. They are a combo deck. I can tell already. This comes from experience. I can tell already what type of things they want to do. Maybe not exactly what cards are in there. If I played more and took better notes myself, I would know maybe even specifically the cards that they're going to carry in there. But I know that they're waiting to combo off, and they're looking and measuring every card that I put down as to whether or not it is worth countering or worth stopping to put on the table. Blue is not known for having sweepers. You saw the last game, the white had sweepers, had ways of taking everything off the board. Blue is, or rather green, is at a disadvantage against this because I have to have a board presence. I have to have creatures on the board. It's not to say that you can't make a green deck that has different tricks and different shenanigans up its own sleeve, but you're less likely to have that. All right, what have we got here? Ward 2. So whatever I do is going to have to cost an extra 2 to do it. Let's do this. Let's hope that I can do this and do that. Say yes. I'm going to spend 2 extra mana. They overcommitted, but they probably have another one in their hand. So I've got to swing while I can and hope that they don't have another one. That was my one chance at removal. I'm in a fair position here. He's going to bounce that back to my hand or keep it for being able to be used. I'm going to put this on the board. I have to press whatever advantage that I have. So We'll see. I really hope I can pull this off. Oh, yeah, not going to happen. Ba-da-ba-ba. So, we go ahead and attack. They will eat my creature. I am at 20 life. That is my only saving grace. The fact that they don't have a lot of cards in hand and they are arguably top decking means if I can whittle them down, I can whittle them down. I can maybe pull a win out of this. Thank goodness they didn't get what they needed. It is possible to win, but you are going to be hard pressed to do it, especially with the way that these cards are set up here. That was exhausting play, man. It was exhausting play. Yeah. I want to. I'm not here to gush about my feelings and stuff like that, but it is heartbreaking to see what they have done to this game in the name of money, and the fact that they do not. They've shown on several occasions that they don't listen to the player base, that they don't. They don't care. And again, it's a company. Why would a company care? This game is again about the gathering. It's about they need those people that don't spend $1,000 every time they go out, but they spend $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, maybe $300 in a month, whatever. Don't even spend that money in a month, maybe, but they go out and play and tell other people about how great this game is to draw them in. And the fact that they just don't recognize that fact is disheartening to those of us that have been here from the beginning. This is going to be bonus content at this point. Gosh, thank you. If you stuck around and you saw me melt down and so on, I apologize for that. But if you stuck around, I do appreciate it. I want you to enjoy this game. I want you to come out. I want you to meet me at a local game store here in Southern California, or if I travel, I carry decks with me. One of the nicest things that I think about this game is the fact that I can go into any game store where they offer a place to play and sit down, and I can instantly make friends. I can instantly have people at least will have this in common, and usually if somebody's into this, there's going to be other things that you're going to have in common with them. And I think I could find that anywhere that I can find Magic actually being played by people. And that's what makes this this experience, this game, such a wonderful game. I am going to, so this is bonus content. You don't need to stick around for this if you're only interested in the color challenges. Thank God we got through that. This is going to be a bonus game. I'm going to show you what can be done with green with a more curated deck list here. Let's choose this one. This at one point had a 65% win rate because of the cards in there and because of the way it worked together. So this is going to be an elf deck. It is designed to ramp and put lots of elves on the board. This is what's called a tribal deck. Excuse me. This is not the best example of how this deck could play. I am going second, and I don't really like what I see here. So I will mulligan. I will keep this, and I will throw this away. I have played this so many times, it's easy for me to make a decision. I don't like seeing that I'm up against red. That's kind of how it goes, though. I will put this down on the board. I will put this down on the board. They are going to play direct damage spells that are going to kill my creatures by putting -1/-1 counters on there. So if a lightning bolt will do 3 points of damage, instead it will put 3 -1/-1 counters on there. They appear as red counters. It's more than enough to kill it. It is gone. It is out of there. Too bad for me. I knew this was a risk putting this in as bonus content, but I do want you to see that green can do more than what it just was shown to in the color challenge. They are going to kill every single one of my creatures as I put them down. Not a lot I can do about that. The fact that they aren't flooding the board with creatures does give me a hope for being able to play. I'm going to play this. This is going to come in tapped. Oh, nope. Oh, I'm stupid. What was I thinking? Overexcited. I'm playing a second legendary card. And it will. Oh, good. Let me back out of that. Let's do this. And let's do this. So, another one of those cards that breaks the rules, another alchemy card that just does some shenanigans. All right, so I want to show you what I can do here. So I am going to tap out my land first. I am then going to play this card. It is a legendary card. You can't have two legendary cards with the same name on the board. So I will throw away this one. Oh, and it came into play tapped anyhow. Well, I'll do this then. Yeah, that was an oops. I forgot that it does come into play tapped when you have more lands available. Ooh. My mind is still reeling from the previous games here. Let's concede. So you're going to wind up with more bonus content this time here. Let's see what a green deck can potentially do. This may be edited down slightly. Okay, this is a good start. This may be edited down slightly just to for entertainment purposes only. I don't plan on cutting any of the game out, but I do plan on cutting out some of the stalls and stuff on what to do here. Glad I'm playing green against green. You'll get to see not only what I can do, but what they can do also. We'll see who does it better. We'll see who Kung Fu is better. All right. So let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And I'm going to give them a chance to kill my creature at the risk of losing theirs, which they're not. They're going to get that extra mana. Reading the card explains the card. I think I'm going to have to deny them their mana if I can. All right. And press my advantage where I can. Yeah, green can do some explosive things given the time and the ability. Here, what is this? Is this a Nyx that's going to give Shrine? Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, nice. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's hit that as best we can. All right. I want to prevent them from getting as much as they possibly can out of the board. They are possibly going to, with a single cast of a card, kill me. They possibly could do 20 points of damage in a single turn. It could happen. Green is that explosive, or could be that explosive. So if I don't kill them this turn, yeah, that could be game ending. So let's do this. Oh, and they quit before I could show you what it could do. Well, anyhow, you see that this deck has a 53%. I'm hoping this shows up on screen. It may not. Up here, I actually have a win rate on this deck. It is 53% these days. The last few games that I've played, I won 5 games, lost 2, then a win, then a loss, then a win. The last loss and last win you just saw. This game can be fun. This game can be frustrating. Regardless, I thank you very much for taking the time that you have to spend with me. Check out the other videos. I can't promise I melt down every time, but I probably will if I see an Oracle of Alpha in any game. Or a Planeswalker, or I just could list off all the things that are annoying, but I won't. Anyhow, thank you very much for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time.